What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode with Third Ten Podcast. I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you guys are doing well. For those of you who don't know, a lot of stuff happened yesterday. We had NCAA come out for those who bought the deluxe version, which is myself, because yay, right? I mean, we waited what 11 years, right, Brian, for
11
this
years.
thing?
11 long years.
Oof, man, I'm telling you, it was worth it though. So for those of you who haven't bought it yet or are waiting until the standard version comes out later this week, you're gonna be so excited. The servers were okay, which is a bit surprising considering it was the first day the game came out. So you would
It's
think,
EA. It's EA.
yeah,
We can't expect too much here.
exactly. But it was good. I know Brian. We talked about it off here. You're gonna love it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I
so
can't wait. I really can't wait.
we'll get into that in just a bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty fun episode today. We're not gonna, no,
Mhm.
we're not gonna talk about too much about the Giants toward the end until the end of the show, because Hard Knocks episode 3 is coming out later today. So we'll talk about that. But more importantly, let's just talk about NCAA, man. I mean,
that's what we got to do.
it's like the main thing going on right now. Outside the home run derby, we'll get to that in our next segment.
Mhm.
But Brian, this game, dude. I mean, it's come a long way. The details that we've seen in the trailers, in gameplay that we've seen from content creators on YouTube, everything just seems to show that this game is just gonna keep us on our couches for like hours and hours on it. Am I wrong?
No, exactly. It just seems like it's completely immersive, as real of an NCAA game as we would want. Like, we want realism. We want to be, exposed to as much as possible. And that's what this game is. Like, they have minute details that no one even think of. Like, in Michigan, a tradition in Michigan apparently is like they announced the score of a Division II school, Slippery Rock University. That's in the game. That's stuff that no one even knows about. So this is just like you are basically going to transport yourself and get lost in this world of being an NCAA coach or a player if you're playing Road to Glory.
Oh yeah, Road to Glory. I currently creative player, so I had many choices to, of course, because compared to the last version in 2014, you get to choose where you want to go, and it
Yeah.
just depends on whether you're going to start, bench, or a walk on. And I wanted to start, so the only school that was willing to be like, okay, we'll start you was Kennesaw State, the worst team in the
In
game.
college football, yeah.
Exactly.
Horrible.
So I was like, okay, I might as well, go ahead and give it a try. So I signed with Kennesaw State. Thankfully, we had the transfer portal just in case something goes wrong. And I will say I will be hitting the transfer portal after the season because holy
That bad,
cow,
huh?
dude. Okay, it took 4 overtimes against UTSA out of all teams, and I lost to Josh McCown's son in 4 OTs. Because here's the thing: as a freshman, you start as a freshman,
Yeah.
and you can't change the play. So whatever
Mhm.
play they give you, you can't change it. You have to no
You can't.
huddle offense to
Oh,
change
you
the
can't. You
play.
can't audible.
No, because you're a freshman and like the
Ooh.
coach's trust isn't there.
Right. Oh, see, that's awesome. That's such a detail I wouldn't even think they put in there.
Exactly. So, but I was frustrated though, so I was like, it was
Frustrating,
full.
but it's so again that brings the realism in it. Like it's kind of so safe, but the coach still wouldn't trust a freshman.
Like we're running the ball at the 2 yard line, which I understand, but like it's 4 overtimes. Let me throw it or like let me scramble out and try to make a play. Unfortunately, it was a run play up the middle with our running back that didn't work out, and then we lost because they converted the 2 point conversion when they had the chance to do so. So that was a fun start to my college career, and
Yeah.
hopefully, I
Hopefully, it
mean,
gets better.
I'm transferring. Anyways, um, do you have a school in mind that because I know we'll talk about dynasty in a bit, but for Road to
Yeah.
Glory, because you have so many choices to where you want to go to, uh I guess a better question is, are you planning to just go to any school that wants to start you, or do you plan to uh kind of have a bench role to start with a walk
No,
on
I would go to
somewhere?
whatever school starts me. Probably.
Okay.
That's where I want to go.
I think to kind of explore more deeper into it, because for NCAA, for the new game, there's 4 different ways to start. You can start as a 5-star, a 4-star, a 3-star. Are you gonna go with the 5-star? Are you gonna go start with like the 2-star, 3-star?
I'll probably do three or four. Probably. I don't want to do five. I don't want to do two. Probably go right in that middle, right in the sweet spot.
Got it. Because as a 5-star, it's like you can start anywhere, but like you want
exactly.
the grind. You kind of want that, that stuff.
Yeah, that's where the 3 and 4 kind of comes in. So like, you might get some major offers, but you're also probably get the smaller schools. So yeah, that kind of fun.
That is true. So yeah, I signed up to be a 3-star. So
Yeah.
and I'm still starting because outside of Kennesaw State, every other school. Well, there's some schools that wanted me, but it's gonna be a bench role, and I wouldn't have minded that, but I kind of wanted to play, so I was like, screw it, Kennesaw State. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Regardless, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. I do want to talk about Dynasty though as well because I explored that a little bit. After a lot of debate, I've decided that I'm going to be rebuilding San Jose State University for the first time in this game. I chose it because I actually transferred there after 2 years at my community college. Spoiler alert, I'm back at the same community college because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. But San Jose State was the first school to accept me in terms of my transfer. And they're a great school. One of the best in California. Football wise, not so much, but that's what I'm here
They'll
for.
Get better. You're there to get them better.
Exactly. So that's the school I'm rebuilding first. But this may be an easy question for you, but I just want to make sure. Is there a school in mind that you'll be rebuilding first in Dynasty?
I mean, like, to really build for, like, Notre Dame, but I really count Notre Dame because, like, that's my favorite team. Like, everyone wants to play with their favorite team. Like, you play Madden, you do a rebuild, but, like, you have one on the side. It's like, all right, if you're, a Patriots fan of the Brady era, you had a Patriots franchise somewhere. That's what mine. But my real official rebuild, my first one, it's going to be Army. I'm going to rebuild the military school. And then after that, I'm doing West Virginia. I've had a lot of family go there and build them into a national power.
Okay, Army, a military school. They're in the AA.
They're in the They're in the AAC, but I'm gonna make them independent.
Okay, you just have a thing for independent schools, don't you? Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, I just don't think military schools should be in a conference. I think because it's different. They're like they're playing football, but it's different there. Football's different at those universities than it is in Alabama and Auburn, NC State.
True. You had a point. Also I have Army, Navy, Air Force. Yeah, those three schools they do belong independent, even though they are in a conference. But
because Army, Navy be in a conference, but I don't want to make the Army Navy game a conference game. That should be its own standalone thing, regardless. That's the biggest tradition in college sports.
Fair enough. Army, okay. Will you be running their offense, or will you be changing their play? Because Army, a lot of run plays.
Definitely run heavy, but I will include some pass plays. I'll probably go with a pro style offense.
Oh, there we go. So I was gonna say, are you gonna run wishbone and stuff? And I was like,
maybe when I get more experience with the game and get better at it, we might return and do a wishbone, but not to start off.
Alrighty. Well, we hope you guys enjoy the game. Whenever you guys get it, whether you have the deluxe version right now or the standard version later this week, or whenever you guys decide to get it, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we hope you enjoy rebuilding or being your own Road to Glory player. By the way, keep your GPA up. I saw a graphic that someone was playing. They was ineligible to play. That's concerning. So, also, I guess I think someone got dumped by their girlfriend in the game.
Someone got blocked by a girl too. Love it.
Like you said, the attention to detail. It's just so nice to have.
It's like, damn, this really is like college.
Where's the drinking? Well, actually, no. There is involved. I will say that there is something involved. So I don't know how you're gonna handle that.
I might be drinking, but I want my character to be too. I want Johnny Manziel playing hungover against Alabama, putting up 35.
Jesus. Speaking of drinking, the home run derby was yesterday, and if you guys haven't seen Brian's subheading there, Ingrid Address was singing the national anthem yesterday, and she was terrible. We thought it was because she couldn't sing. She was drunk.
Yeah, apparently. I just saw it before we went on the air. I feel a little bad about that now, but it is what it is.
It is true though. I mean, from the way she was singing yesterday, it
Yeah.
wasn't the best anthem.
No.
I
No,
thought
it's
it
the
was,
worst of all time.
I thought that was just because that's how she sung, but apparently she's now in rehab. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, good for her for owning up to it, being like, hey, yeah, I was drunk last night. That's not me, and I've got a problem I got to deal with. Ultimate respect in the world for that.
fair
Like,
enough.
it's okay not to be okay. Yeah, but hopefully she gets into rehab and gets better, and one day she can go back out there and redeem herself.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people made fun of her once we saw it for the first time, but now that we know
Oh,
the full details,
there were some funny tweets
yeah,
There were some great tweets last night. Oh, and the crowd shots too. People were laughing in the crowd. Alex Bohm was peeing himself out there.
Oh, I love Alec Bohm. Speaking of Bohm, had an outstanding performance yesterday at the Derby. A few disappointments yesterday from the Derby itself. Gunnar Henderson was bad. Pete Alonso didn't
Can't
make
go
it.
into Scooby Doo bat and do that. Like if you're gonna have a Scooby Doo bat and have this custom, big deal, you gotta put on a show.
Exactly. He did all. I mean the details were nice in terms of his bat, and he
That's
went on
awesome.
the broadcast to imitate the Scooby Doo voice. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So if you watch that before, Buster Oney is interviewing him,
mhm.
and then he says it, and then Buster Oney's like, okay, and like moves on. Shout out Eduardo Perez for grabbing him and realizing like we have to show you how to do this. All time bad job by Buster Oney. If someone gives you like a piece of information like that, especially in an event like like if it's the World Series, okay, I get not exploring it, but the Home Run Derby is supposed to be fun, fan interaction. That's a great thing that MLB can post. You have to go ask that question, do the impression.
There you go.
Bad job by Buster Oney on that one.
It's just the fact that there's a time to discuss that stuff, and there's other times not. That's not the best thing to.
Yeah. But the Home Run Derby is a perfect time to discuss that stuff.
Exactly.
It's to people take it seriously, but it's supposed to be a fun event. It's supposed to be celebrating baseball and celebrating the game. And let's show off this guy. He's got a Scooby Doo impression, a very good Scooby Doo impression. Let's show it off. Give these guys some personality. That's why the NBA is so popular because there's so much personality in it.
This is their all-star break. It is their all-star break, so they're supposed to let loose because no one takes it seriously. And yes, the Derby and they're swinging for the fences, but no one is like, oh, I have to win, or like my life depends on it. I mean, no one. That's why you had like 6 guys that aren't really known for mashing the baseball, competing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it is what it is. And what are we gonna do, right? So, Pete Alonso, thoughts on that? I know, kind of a disappointment. Want to get your thoughts on that quickly before we shift.
Yeah, Pete Alonso disappointed last night. Dave Joust was horrible last night. It was a horrible pitcher throwing to him last night. Still not an excuse. Pete with an all-time dud. And I know there's pressure on him to like, oh, he can't do it anymore. It's like the former high school star going to play at his old high school and relive the glory days. Everybody relax, okay? Nobody had this much hate when Ken Griffey. You know how many home run derbies Ken Griffey Jr. did? 8. All right, he won 3 of them, but he did 8 of them. No one was complaining when Ken Griffey Jr. kept going back. So why are we complaining about Pete Alonso going back? If he likes now, sure. If the rumor is true that Pete Alonso said, I won't go to the All-Star, I won't go to Derby unless I'm an All-Star, and they made him an All-Star, that's the only reason why he's an All-Star, then we'll have a different conversation, because then that's Pete being a bad teammate and leaving out potentially guys like Lindor and Nimmo from getting that spot rather than Pete. But if Pete was going to the All-Star game because he's having a great season and wants to compete in the home run derby, let him. I don't get what the big deal is.
I think it is because of those comments that you just mentioned about how if it is true that he would only compete in the Derby if he was going to be an All-Star, then I think that's what people were ticked off about. But I personally don't know if that's true.
I 100% agree with him. Then yes, Pete Alonso is being a selfish teammate and should not be there. But if that's not the case and he's just truly an All-Star, then who cares? Let him do the home run derby.
He is batting 240, which is
I don't disagree. I don't think Pete Alonso should be an All-Star. I don't. I really don't. He's been his worst season by far. Nimmo and Lindor deserves it way more than him. We'll have to see.
Yeah. 19 home runs this year for Alonso, 51 RBIs, tied for 14th to 39th in those categories respectively. So I'm just gonna shout out Alec Boehm. I had him to win the whole thing, so close. Had a swing off with Teoscar, who ended up winning the whole thing. So shout out to Teoscar Hernandez and Bobby Witt Jr., who competed in the finals. I had Bobby Witt as a dark horse.
Bobby Witt with inches from tying that thing last night. Inches.
I know,
that ball hit
inches
the wall.
away. Polo Grounds looking stadium. I'm just kidding. Nah, that's too far. Too far.
That's crazy.
But last thing I want to cover before we head off. I know it's a quick episode today, but I wanted to get your thoughts quickly on episode 2 of Hard Knocks, which was last week, because episode 3 comes out tonight. A lot of draft stuff last week. Very impressed, right, with Drake May, I assume.
Very impressed with Drake May. I can see why the Giants want to trade up for him now. Makes total sense.
And they did. They tried to. They went to the Patriots themselves and were like, hey, before you do anything at third overall, please let us know so we can try to figure something out. But honestly, for me, it was just cool seeing all the quarterbacks meet with Dable. Malik Neighbors is someone Dable loved since the beginning.
Oh, Doomsday is someone that Shane loved. I don't think I was talked about enough. Shane,
I didn't notice that as much.
Doomsday. Like I'm shocked there wasn't more of a fight for Doomsday after they couldn't get 3.
I was surprised. I really was.
No, I was shocked. You good? All right. Doomsday, like Joe Shane was singing his praises all game, singing his praise all episode, giving him his flowers, and he really impressed in that interview. I liked listening to him talk. I thought he had a very interesting perspective on football and the game itself. All draft picks really were. There really wasn't one draft pick I was not enthused about. Like even Caleb Williams, like, oh, okay, I could get where he's going. And I did like that when it was a little before the combine, they're sitting in the room. One of the things they talked about with Caleb Williams was the media, was how he's reacting. That makes me feel confident that this team isn't just looking at football. They're taking into account things that even we on this show took into account. We said on this show, Williams will not survive the New York market. And
it really seemed like he would, because the scout had the concern about how I was like, okay, he had those issues when he was losing off the field. That kind of just that was just scary. So, I mean, I wouldn't have minded if we got Caleb some way, somehow, but I understand why the scout had that concern. And at the end of the day, we didn't end up with any quarterbacks. We just ended up with arguably the best playmaker in the draft, in Malik Neighbors. So I will take that gladly.
I'll take Malik Neighbors. I don't know how it would have felt if we picked a Doomsday at the draft. Watching this, I would have felt a lot better about him. I
think one thing that I'm not very happy about, before we talk about episode 3, because actually it ties into episode 3, because today we'll find out the end results of how it happened that led to the end result of Saquon Barkley leaving the Giants. His attitude in episode 2 was very bad.
Weird. Yeah, it was not pleasant. He didn't. It felt like a very uncomfortable phone call. It felt like a phone call with someone like, like I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to talk to you. So I'm trying to get off the phone as quickly as possible. I just felt uncomfortable listening to it. Joe Shane probably skin was crawling.
Yeah, and I feel like Shane knew that was the end, that they weren't going to bring him back, but he was being so respectful and nice about it. So it was but Saquon was just acting like, he's like, I already told you where I want to be. Yeah, but we want to know. We want to hear it from your voice. You're going to give us your word. You can't just be like, yeah, you know what I said. How, you going to treat a GM like that?
Yeah, that's your boss. You're, again, putting on a bad display. And then go out and tweet that the Giants never made an offer to you. Yeah, you saw why. Joe Shane explained to you why he didn't make an offer. He didn't make an offer because he didn't think that was a fair price for you. He literally told you what he's going to do, and you still called him out. What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense.
we try to be respectful with him, and at the end of the day, he's off to a division rival that paid him 1 million more than what we offered him last year. So
Mhm.
yes, it is true that we didn't offer him anything, but because we wanted to respect him, his wishes and whatnot, that's the reason why.
BS to begin with, because we offered him at least 4 contracts last year. Couldn't get anything done then, and then told Saquon, we will match any offer we think is fair. Go out and get your offer, tell us the market, and if we think we can compete with that offer, we'll give you it. If not, we'll let you walk, and both sides walk away clean. Joe Shane tried to make this as clean and respectful as Saquon Barkley as possible. He didn't put him on the franchise tag because Saquon Barkley would have hated that and thought it was disrespectful. He let Saquon explore the market and let it dictate. And at the end of the day, he made the football decision. All right, it's not smart, and Saquon is taking it personally. Okay, you know what? We're going to take it personally too that you didn't want to be here. And the fact that the New York Giants put Saquon Barkley as a top 100 Giant of all time after this episode came out is the biggest slap in the face to Joe Shane ever. All right, Saquon Barkley is not a top 100 Giant of all time. There have been 100 seasons of Giants football. I bet we can find 100 players better than Saquon Barkley. What do you have, 2 good seasons?
The rookie season and the 2022 season, yeah.
He was injury prone and, banged up and underperforming.
Remind me, I think next episode is probably Thursday. Thursday, we will discuss the top 100 players. Because there's no way Hakeem Nicks is 97 and Saquon's 95.
Hakeem Nicks won a Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley didn't sniff a Super Bowl.
He actually helped us win a Super Bowl, yeah, Hakeem Nicks. Remember that playoff run?
It was one of the greatest that Giants offense, one of the best passing offenses in the league that season. And Hakeem Nicks was a huge part of it.
I promise we'll discuss top 100 on Thursday because I know they released the 80 through 71 today or yesterday. So we'll discuss that in our next episode. But before we go, what are you excited to see in tonight's episode? Because, it's going to come out 6 p.m. No, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I think. So what are you looking forward to watch in today's?
It's the Brian Burns trade. I saw there was a clip about it tweeted out today. I didn't watch it because I wanted to. After the All-Star game, I'm going to sit down and watch the episode. I don't like going in knowing stuff. I like going in completely free. So I went in. I saw that tonight's episode, see how we complete it. So like I've been saying this whole time, I want to know why they picked Burns over Wilkins and how they got that price down so much.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to see if I'm not sure if they will discuss it, but I think they will. How the offers to the free agents the Giants signed, whether it was Runyon or Illuminor. I'm not sure if they'll discuss it in this episode, but based on what we saw at the end of episode 2 with the preview for tonight's episode, I do think they'll dive into that a little bit. I also
want to see John Mara lying in his bed awake at night because he couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep and thought Saquon Barkley not being a Giant next year. Like, Mara, get out of the room and shut up.
That's another big thing they'll discuss tonight too, right? The whole Saquon saga ends and whatnot. So we'll see. Maybe. Oh no, there's no way they have another conversation between Barkley and Shane because that seemed like the last convo they had. I'd be surprised if they talked again.
I can see Ed Barry talking with Shane again. I think that's more what we're going to see. I mean, Ed Barry seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like to have a genuine good conversation with Shane. I think the problem was Saquon and Shane, not Shane and the entire Saquon camp.
Yeah, because Barry knew.
Yeah,
he knew Shane didn't. He knew Shane wanted Saquon back. It was just the fact that Shane didn't know the market and wanted to be respectful and yada yada yada.
I think Ed Barry was more understanding the football side of it and like the business side of it, where Saquon is not. I think Barry's like, okay, I get what you're doing. You're trying to build a whole roster. It's 50 players, and sure, he has to keep up like a good reputation with him to get his clients money in the future. The Giants can be a suitor. If you piss off an organization, well, that's one less team for your clients. If your clients realize that you only have 31 teams you're on good terms with, but the other guy got 32, they're going with the other guy. But I think it's more Barry getting what the market is, understanding you can't pay the running back that much, and it's not disrespectful.
Yeah, and honestly, I've gotten over the whole missing Saquon thing. I mean, after what we've seen from him with his attitude and everything, and it's probably been months since he signed with the Eagles. So good for him, man.
I'm looking forward to booing him. That's it.
Oh yeah,
because I was done with him the moment he left. I was done. His jersey became a doormat in my house, and I might have burnt it. I don't know.
So I still have a Penn State jersey that I won of him, a couple Giants jerseys of him. So we'll put that to good use. Maybe I'll put I'll write on a paste paper Singletary and just put it across.
There you go.
Yeah, save money, live better. Walmart. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that's kind of it. Yeah, on Thursday we'll talk about episode 3, what we think of that, and then we'll discuss the top 100 players of the Giants, and then we'll also talk about the All-Star game because Paul Skeens, thank you.
Paul Skeens starts tonight. Over under how many innings until we get a video of Livy Dunn? I say after his first out, they'll flash to Livy.
I'm gonna say after his first pitch.
First pitch, okay.
I'm gonna go bold.
How many times will they flash Livy? I think it's only gonna be once. I think they'll do it unless they're like talking about her in their relationship. They will only do it once.
They'll show her once after the first time, and then on the replay, if Skeens records a strikeout and they go to commercial break, they'll show Livy again. But that's kind of because they know their limits. It's not Taylor Swift in the NFL.
That's what I'm
MLB
trying to go. It's going to be
limits.
like Taylor Swift where every single play they're flashing up to her. No.
They're the couple that I wanted Swift and Kelsey to be. We've seen enough. Skeens and Livy, they're mature. Yes, it's nice because Livy's very popular amongst the social media community, I would say. But at the end of the day, they're both very
she's
nice
most popular with.
They're a great couple, man. I love Skeens.
They're a great couple. I love them together. They're way better than Kelsey and Swift. Did you see that report? The report about how much money they spend in a day?
If I was spending $100,000 a day,
$27 million is what they spent so far.
I'd be in debt real fast.
Yeah. Must be nice. Must be nice to be able to burn $100K a day.
Kelsey's contract, half of it goes to Swift, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know where this is going. Someone said the other day, well, Kelsey's going to make money. I'm like, yeah, when she dumps him and writes a breakup album about him, makes millions again. To make it all back.
If they break up, love is such a crazy thing. Because there's no way they've done all this.
I hope they don't break up. I hope they live happily ever after, all that stuff. But if they do, Taylor Swift is going to be writing a breakup album, and every Swiftie who loved Travis Kelce is going to all of a sudden hate him because, they're all in a cult to Taylor Swift. No offense to Swift. It's not you. It's your crazy fans, all right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be wearing diapers at a concert, people. That's not normal behavior. People, they literally were doing scientific studies, and they're like, these fans are going through amnesia, like a soldier would when they see a traumatic event, because they are so wrapped up in Taylor Swift that when they see her, it's legit so emotional, their body can't process it, so it has amnesia over it. It's 100% true thing. 100%. It was happening last year. It was the weirdest thing. It's like only people go through it with childbirth and seeing a situation of war. So the only time they'll mentally block out something like that. And apparently, if you're a Swiftie, Taylor Swift.
Well, I know what I'll be looking up, researching later then, because
I love New York Mets, but you know what I remember every single moment of? Every Met game I went to. I didn't have such an emotional reaction. I blocked it out.
Oh, man. Celebrity couples, man. What are you going to do, man? It is what it is.
Shout out Skeens and Livy for being a celebrity couple, but normal.
Yes, normal. Very
as normal as a celebrity couple can be, all right? There's going to be, situations and weird stuff, but even if they didn't have all the cameras on them, they would still probably act just like they are right now.
From what we've seen, they don't mind being in the spotlight, but they're perfectly okay with being out of it.
They're not chasing it like Swift.
Exactly.
Like I don't think Kelsey chases it, but Swift definitely is, and Kelsey to an extent is. I think he's just a fun guy too.
Exactly. I love Travis Kelce. I
Yeah,
just love.
I think it's a personality that attracts the cameras. More of him. It's not him chasing. It's more of just like, oh, look what Travis Kelsey's doing now.
Yeah.
But in a good way. Not like, oh, look at Johnny Manziel. Like that was personality that attracted cameras in the bad way. Travis Kelsey is, oh, look, he's doing something funny again.
Well, at the end of the day, I know you'll be replicating Johnny Manziel in NCAA. I completely forgot the name for a second.
Yep.
In NCAA. So we'll just I think that's pretty much it for this episode. We will see you guys on Thursday. So like I said, we'll talk about Hard Knocks episode 3. We'll talk about the top 100 players for the Giants. And yeah. Shout out to the sun glaring in the background. Y'all can see me still.
Let there be light.
Yay, beautiful light. But thank you so much to you guys for listening and watching. We'll see you guys on Thursday. And enjoy Hard Knocks tonight. Enjoy the All-Star game. And Paul Skeens, give us some fastballs. And Mason Miller too. Let's hit 104 again, please.
That'd be nice.
Speed kills.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys.